Phantom of the Opera 1943. A further example of how the character elements I mentioned previously, as well as how the various plot points are delivered to us, can alter the tone of a film. I would say this one is leaning a lot more towards the dramatic side of things, but in a Turner Classic Movies style, if that makes sense. And while I certainly wouldn't say that it romanticizes everything to the level that Andrew Lloyd Webber's does, I can kind of see the budding similarities between the two, particularly in the Phantom character. In the context of the musical, he is very much meant to be seen as the other man. He still has his issues, yes. He still kills people, yes. But there is more things to like about him other than just being Gerard Butler. Similarly, this film really wants you to see the man behind the monster, so to speak. And it does this by adding some changes to his origin story. Instead of being an escaped criminal that is hiding out in the catacombs beneath the opera house, or being a carnival attraction sideshow freak, he is just a man down on his luck. He is fired from his job as a violinist for the opera after like 20 years due to just aging out, I guess. Not being able to play at the peak level that he is required to, due to what I assume is arthritis. There's some sort of medical issue happening with him, though the movie doesn't really address it or formally put a name to it. But I assume that he's got arthritis and he's just not able to play complex pieces anymore. He also attempts to publish his crescendo, which leads him to mistakenly have the impression that his work is being stolen, which pushes him into a murderous rage, thus leading to his facial deformity being the result of having acid thrown in his face. Very, very cool stuff. I thought it was a unique kind of attempt to show Eric as he evolves into the Phantom. What I didn't care for about this film is how the love triangle is set up and the relationship between Christine and the Phantom. Reason being is that it feels a lot more like a love square, I guess. Rather than being the nobleman that we know him as, Raoul plays an inspector similar to the one that shows up in the silent film. And then there is this random guy that's just kind of chucked into this movie by the name of Anatole, who essentially does everything the Phantom is supposed to do. He is very much the teacher to Christine's student. He is the one that is invested in her career. He is the one that kind of congratulates her after every performance. He is the one that is trying to coach her to become a better performer. And the issue with that is it just kind of castrates the Phantom, in my view. He still does things for her. You know, he anonymously pays for her vocal lessons. He still does all of the murders in order to make sure that Christine maintains that spotlight. But by the time that we get to see Christine and the Phantom face to face, and he is kind of declaring his admiration for her and his wishes to be loved by her, it just feels very disjointed and a little bit awkward. There's nothing there, essentially, because Anatole steals his thunder and does everything that he is supposed to do. I think there's a very easy fix for all of that, though. Just let the inspector be the inspector. Let his primary focus be solving all these murders and catching the madman. Make Anatole Raoul, because I personally like him as a character a lot more. He certainly has a far better personality, which would free up the Phantom to be to have that master apprentice sort of relationship with Christine. So it would all make sense a lot more than it does, unfortunately. Overall, it's a fine movie. It's a shame that we don't have a masquerade sequence or a Red Death costume for the Phantom. But I did like quite a few different elements of the film. I did enjoy this cast quite a bit, which made for just a pleasant watching experience. But that's going to wrap up this review for us, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and are looking forward to the next one. Until then, we'll see you soon, and be good to one another. See you later.